Okay. I'd like to call to order this regular board meeting of the Guam Educational Telecommunications Corporation. Today is February 17, 2022. The time is 12:17. Please state your name as we go around the table and your position. Donovan Brooks, Chair.
Joey Frankis, member.
Judy Flores, Secretary.
Rosemary Clement, member.
JC Bravo, youth member.
Ina Carrillo, GM. Christine Dela Cruz, Development.
Thank you. You have the minutes of January 20 in front of you. We didn't get a chance to review them this time because Lorraine's out, but if you take a minute and just
Is this exactly what you sent
It is,
to us?
yes.
Okay.
did we get the minutes for?
Yes.
I was in the chat yesterday. So this is a new format of the minutes. If you like it, we can keep it this way. If it's really lengthy, it's every single word. If you want a summary, we can have them summarized. If you just want to try something different.
Okay.
So when you have, like, particular discussions, I noticed you put it in italics. Right.
Yeah, I like that. It gives background.
So seeking a motion to approve minutes of January 20.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes for January 2022.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, so for my report this month, I think I'll do the procurement stuff after the report. But regarding administration department, we have, we are just wrapping up the audit. I have a letter here written from Ernst & Young. They're requesting for me to sign and acknowledge it, but I wanted to wait for the board to discuss it and see if you are in approval. If so, I will sign it. I'm not in approval. I'm going to agree with it, so I'm going to yield to the board. Regarding Ernst & Young, we were we had a meeting with the OPA, Public Auditor BJ Cruz and his staff, and also with Ernst & Young, and we were discussing the audit. Because we received funds for EFS through this grant state clearinghouse in excess of over $750,000. Ernst & Young came together with the clearinghouse, right? They came to the conclusion that we needed this additional audit, right? Which is a uniform guidance audit. The audit was it would cost an additional $10,000, and that was the requisition that we requested for in the last meeting, that PBS pay this extra $10,000 for this extra additional audit that we supposedly needed because we received funds over $750,000 as a subcontractor. So when we were talking with EY, we were discussing the process of how we build the clearinghouse, as well as what contents were in the MOU. It's always been our position that we follow the MOU to the T. The MOU said this. We did exactly that and build it the same way. So that would make us like a contractor, not sub-grantee. Contractors are not required to do this UA audit, where sub-grantees are. It was a mix-up. to me, it was Ernst & Young called to do the audit. They told the OPA that we needed the audit based on information they got from the clearinghouse, right? Which was just a flyer, if you can see on the second page, it was this flyer they sent to the clearinghouse, right? The clearinghouse submitted this information, and based off of this information, they made the determination that we needed the UA audit. But at the same time, our position never changed, that this is how we bill it, this is how it is, we don't think we need this. Anyway, it turns out, they then had a face-to-face meeting with the clearinghouse and said, oh, good news, you don't need an audit. So I'm asking, like, am I gonna get a refund, right? So their justification is they did the work, and the work is in the amount, I mean, if you quantify the work, it's the value of the $10,000, but I'm saying, we didn't want the UA audit, you guys did it. If you had a problem with it, you should have communicated with the clearinghouse a little bit more to determine whether we needed it, because our position never changed. So I'm going to leave it to the board. EY wants me to sign this letter that says that we acknowledge this and that they're just going to, we're going to just, there's going to be no refund of the $10,000 for the audit that they performed that we did not need. And I will leave it to the board and yield.
Oh, this is the letter here?
Yes.
Dated February 14th?
Yes. We've already paid for that. So the board approved the $10,000 last one, when we paid for it.
Is that the same 10,000 in this letter
For
that
the
you're
original
talking
audit,
about
yeah.
here?
Mhm.
Okay.
Did they do work? I guess one
They
question.
did. They came here and they did all the work.
So isn't it clearinghouse that should settle it?
Well, I think EY they should have been, I mean, before telling the public auditor that we needed to do this, even though we were objecting, right? I think that maybe they needed to have a conversation with the clearinghouse to be absolutely sure that they needed to charge us $10,000, because on any given year, I mean, besides this last year, we've done well. $10,000 would have really hurt us. And it's not something we can just cut checks, you know, like, I think they should have done their due diligence. And it was not done, and yeah, they did the work, but that's not our fault. So it's my position that they should give us a refund. But I'm gonna yield to the board because they did do the work, and that's what they're saying, so. Then they came here, and they re-audited us, so.
We did agree to the $10,000 a long time ago, right?
Yes, but under the preference that we were required to have this UA audit. Now, after EY had further discussions with the clearinghouse, they had I don't know if they had a Zoom meeting or in-person meeting, they came to the conclusion that it wasn't necessary. So now leaves us with the issue of the $10,000 that we paid. EY wrote this letter and said, well, we did the work, and if you justify, I mean, if we calculate all the hours that we did, it would be about $10,000, so, you know, please acknowledge this. And
So what are our options?
I don't know.
Compromise an option?
I don't know what the option, I don't know. I want to reply to EY and say, hey, you guys did the work, but it was an unnecessary audit, and it's not my fault you did that. You should have communicated with all parties to confirm that this is a necessary audit. And let's work this out, because I don't want to pay, I want them to give me the money back.
Well, that sounds like a reasonable response.
Yeah. I mean, at least half of it or something,
Mhm.
because it was not our fault.
Yeah, to start the process, I think, yeah, I would think you.
But, you know, before I mean, I discussed it with Lorraine, and I was telling Lorraine I didn't want to pay it at all, and I said, well, I'll let the board decide, because, you know, I want the board to be in agreement before because I can be a little
Mhm.
hot-tempered, so I just want to make sure that, you know, I mean, if you guys are in agreement. If not, and you guys are fine, they did do the work, they did the extra work. Good thing they didn't find anything, so it's a good, I mean, they did audit us again. It was an extensive audit. We could, you know,
You have a
call
paper,
it a day and say, you know, we had extra additional audit, and it was clean, and
Is your letter in you?
no, I haven't written it
Oh.
yet.
Do you have a paper trail of your objections to the audit prior to the audit?
Not a paper trail, but we were in
Email.
Zoom meetings with the OPA.
Yeah.
I mean, BJ was there, his staff was there, we had several meetings with EY where their staff, like maybe 3 or 4 people were
So was
in.
the OPA involved in the decision?
He just said, hey, Ernst and Young, do they need the audit or not? And they said, it's our conclusion that they do.
Okay. So in that
So
case,
then I brought it to the board to procure, or to pay the 10,000. But BJ did ask, hey, does PBS need to have this audit? They said yes.
That sounds like a conflict of interest for them. I mean, they're making money.
Well,
on it.
it's any agency, right? Any
They are
agency that
kind of
receives a
bound to-
federal grant in excess of $750,000, federal grants, right? In excess of $750,000. And because the grant was almost 4, right, million, we were, in their opinion, we were subject to the additional audit. But because of the way the way that the MOU reads, we are more of a subcontractor as opposed to a or a contractor as opposed to a subrecipient of the grant. So we did not receive the grant from the Department of Education. We received it from the clearinghouse.
So I'm just gonna say, that I think this is your call,
Mhm.
and, if it needs to come back to the board for some reason, that's fine, but I think at this point, it's your call. You tell them what you want, and then if they have a complaint or they have an issue with that, and it needs to rise to the board level, fine, but let's hope it doesn't.
What exactly is the clearinghouse?
It's a
Who
division.
runs that?
Stephanie Flores. It's a division up at is it
Guam.
an agency?
It's a
It's
Guam
division,
agency.
It's a
And
governor's office.
They assist agencies with acquiring grants and funding. So
They kind of oversee all the grants that come.
Yes.
Oh,
yeah, and they do like
just so many
reporting.
people talking about that subject.
Well, it's my opinion that I will ask EY to reconsider, given the fact that it was not our request for this audit, and that we were acting on their recommendation and advice that we did need the audit. That's why we paid for it. And our position never changed. That the MOU, and we've asked them to read the MOU several times, which they did. But if they read the MOU, and I know they did, and saw and audited our procedure as to how we build all the services, I mean, we did it identically. So, that is my issue. If we didn't need the audit, we should not pay for the audit, because it wasn't our idea to have the audit. So, I mean, we'll see. That's
Okay,
what
so
I'll
just
ask.
to be clear, does anyone have any objection to letting the general manager handle it at this point?
Yeah.
No, not really, but I'm just wondering, I mean, I don't know whether this is sort of like admitting guilt or something, but if you, like, ask them to reduce it to 5,000, or does that weaken your case?
No, I mean, I think that's fair. They produce,
Just kinda
they
split
did
the
this
difference.
audit, they did this audit, on our books, on the,
Yeah.
PBS University, right, ESF funding, grant that we received. They did the audit, it was not necessary. We complied, we helped them, we paid for it. So, I mean, like, let's work together and let's call it a day and split this, because this is not an expense that the PBS
Yeah, I mean, I
should,
think
it was not
they
budgeted
erred
for.
in a way, but they paid people to do the audit, their people, you know what I mean? So,
Yeah,
I'd say split the difference in 50-50.
I would be okay with that. I just don't think it's fair that we get stuck with this whole bill when it wasn't necessary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with the chair that you need to take that step.
Okay, I will.
See what happens.
Okay, good. So then that's what I will do. Next item is ethics training. So there is a new law that every and board need to be ethics and government trained. So I have a schedule. If you were not able to attend the training, I can register. It's like $80, but PBS will register any board member that needs to be certified, and then we'll make sure we make the.
Do you have our certificates for those of us who, I mean, I got it.
If you
email.
have one.
No, yeah, it's on my phone.
Oh, you attended the last one?
Pardon me?
Did you attend the last meeting, the last training?
Yeah?
Okay, yeah, you can send it to me and I'll copy it because we need to keep the certificate. I'll make
I mean,
it.
just so I have my records, because I couldn't prove otherwise from the last time I took it, so.
I do have the schedule. It seems like their ethics and government training is from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. On the Fridays of April. So if the board would like to schedule, you can just let me know what day you're available if you're not certified.
8
Or-
a.m. to 12 p.m. on Fridays.
On a Friday, yeah. So on the 8th, the 15th, the 1st, 8th, 15th, 22nd, and the 29th. So you can just let me know in the chat, and then we can get you scheduled and paid for, your training paid for. So that is the training.
Is that an in-person training?
It's a Zoom,
Okay.
yeah. There's one, I think it's one of the, well, before, I think the AG used to have one of their solicitors do it, but now there's an ethics committee, and they probably have a lawyer come in and do the training. You did that one, right, with UOG? I think we did, we were all together. But yeah, so it's a 3-year certification, I believe, and every 3 years we just have to go through this.
How long is the class?
4 hours,
Okay.
yeah. So we had about 70% of our staff do the first training in December. So we're almost there. So I'm happy to report that we have a high percentage of our staff already trained. Also, the third item is our financial disclosures are due I think April 15th. So if you see this form here, we have to report our financial disclosures and any conflicts to the Guam Election Commission. We do it every year. It's due on April 15th. If you want to fill this out and drop it here, we can have it run down to Election Commission and stamped for you, so you don't have to do the runaround. So just heads up, this is due soon. And okay, so in development, Readathon, we'll be launching Readathon on March 1st and will continue to March 18th. To date, GDOE has agreed to participate along with private schools and daycares. We have underwritten with development roughly about $10,000 in cash and about $25,000 in in-kind sponsorship. For Mesh Tomorrow program will include, we have this really cool Mesh Tomorrow music programming called Dandan Marianas. It's going to be musical features from all of Sinamaya, Guam. It's going to be really cool. Someone actually just flew in, Senor Collins, I think? Oliver. Flew in from Saipan today, and we'll be recording him. He's our host. So we'll be recording him all weekend. So we're so excited. I think you guys are really going to love it. It's going to be a weekly music program in March. And if it works out, we will try to make it a seasonal thing. So we're already in talks with the producer on that. Career Day, we'll be participating in several career days this year. Our first one is Teason High School next 22nd of February, this month. The Text to Drive presentation, Jonah is going to send us we can send it to the board chat, and then we can, because we don't have a TV here, but we can send all the videos to the board chat, because he's been working on a few other ones that are a little bit different. I think you guys will like. And then production staff, they're currently working on ACB. ACB for this school year, we are going to start production in 2 weeks. So we just wrapped up last school year because we weren't able to do it because of COVID. We just wrapped that up in December. And then school year 21-22, we're starting next in a couple weeks, and that should go through right before summer, if there is a summer. And then the block grant campaign. So the block grant clinic campaign marketing asset refresh is pending collateral from DPHSS, which means we're waiting for their digital files and text and scripts so that we can start production on our side. Once we get all of that, we'll be ready to print. Later on today, after the report, we'll be going through procurement and we'll talk about procurement for the block grant. PBS University Season 5, Episode 4, 5, and 6, they've all been submitted, so that'll wrap up the season. Kel is going through all of the episodes for quality control. Since we've received it, he goes through them, make sure everything is good and we don't have any issues, nothing has to be reshot. Once he certifies that, then the teachers will start invoicing us for their talent, and then we'll have to pay all those out for PBS University. That was also part of the grant, their salaries, right? Their talent fees were also part of ESF funds, so. And then PBS Community News Hour, we're currently still working on the set right now. So we have procured the desk from last meeting. It's being built. Background is being worked on, and we're really just waiting on the funding to be transferred from BVMR over to us, and Lorraine is doing that actively. Engineering, we are currently working with both Docomo and GTA to move the Governor's Channel management to PBS. You'll see in the procurement section, once we start, you'll see that there is a requisition for a computer that we will need to manage the channel here. So we're still working on that. John Munya completed upgrade E of PBS 6 system. And he's been working on this now for 3 years. It looks like it's going to be another couple years before we're fully launched. The cool thing about the 6 system with PBS is it's a nationwide system that's going to connect all of the stations together. So not only are we going to be able to receive programming through broadband, which is underwater cable, we're going to be weaned away from the satellite. So, you know, satellite coverage fees are really expensive nowadays. So PBS is thinking that the new investment is going to be a better option as opposed to paying satellite fees and stuff like that. So instead of receiving signal from the satellite, we'll be receiving from broadband. So that will happen. We're thinking, we're already receiving some programming through broadband, but all of our live stuff we still get through the satellite because they're just not ready. We're not completely launched. So news hour, stuff like that, we get through the satellite. Everything else we pull from broadband. But the cool thing about 6 is it's going to connect us all, right? So we'll be able to receive programming. Not only will we receive programming, but we'll be able to upload our programming to the 6 network, and I'll be able to pull like Hawaii programming and Alaska programming and Western Samoa and DC programming or whatever, local programming, right? So it's going to really do a lot for PBS, and it's really some high-tech stuff. So we're excited for that, and we're hoping that it'll be done in about 18 months. But yeah, John's been working on different phases like every month. So we're on phase F. So that's engineering. PBS Kids 24/7 had a system upgrade this month. John did that. Not too noticeable. There was no service interruptions. And I think that was it. I did have one item for executive session when you guys go in. Maybe I can talk really quickly about that. But if we could just go through procurement now, and then I'm done.
Ina, I'm sorry, I wanted to go back to number 4 with regard to DPW's building renovation.
Oh, yes. Okay, so we're waiting on the MOU from GDOE. I have been emailing Superintendent Fernandez as well as Adaloop to assist because GDOE's legal department is working on the MOU for us. So that is being worked on. At the same time, we're working with DPW, and DPW has been soliciting for contractors, so it's just, we're waiting on them to acquire a contractor. Once that happens, they'll bring the contractor here, we'll do a walkthrough, and then they'll give us final estimates on what the costs will be for the renovation. I'm thinking it's gonna be between 500,000 and 600,000. Yeah,
Is
but
there a timeline that they've already stipulated here so that we
I had
can move
hoped-
forward on it?
I had hoped by April we could have a contractor in line, but there's been some issues with labor, right? So a lot of and so that also is affecting DPW's ability to get quotes, like good quotes. So I'm
Is
just
that
waiting
why
on
the price of it is pretty high right now because of the demand for workers and contractors to be able to provide that?
Mhm.
And in the timeline that we're looking at, what's the actual time frame for it that we would like for it to be completed by?
I'm thinking the renovations shouldn't take more than 3 or 4 months, but it's just the red tape of acquiring a contractor with DPW and also completing the MOU with the Department of Education. So, yeah, that's it.
Thank you.
I did get the last update I got from DPW was right before I left to Hawaii, which was, and they gave us some paperwork, but they said that they were still soliciting for contractors, so. But I know that they have already made some kind of CAD drawing and rendering of the building. They came out and inspected everything, and they have the drawings ready to go. It's just a matter of getting a contractor. So, okay, so for procurement, here it is. Our first item is, PBS annual meeting. I didn't talk about that, but the annual meeting is going to be in Atlanta. May 18th through the 20th. And I have a little summary here on what the annual meeting is about, but really it talks about all the highlights of PBS, new programming, get to see how the sizzle rolls. It's a great training opportunity for not only the board, but for development and production, because there'll be so many different training sessions, like breakout sessions every single hour, several of them. So it really is something that the staff should, what I'd like them to go to. Lorraine put a little budget together at the request of, I think the chairman, right? We wanted to budget it out before we could discuss. So maybe I can yield to the chairman about the annual meeting.
Sure, thank you. So I did ask Lorraine to prepare a budget based on sending the entire board to this annual conference in Atlanta. And this is my thinking on that. First of all, we can do it. And probably, well, I'm not going to say probably, we can do it at this point. We have the
Where are you? Where is that page you have?
I'm sorry.
Oh.
So we're looking at the annual conference. Got it? So my thinking is, number one, it's absolutely possible. We have the resources available, and looking forward, I don't know that we would ever be in this position again. So that's my first thought. My second thought is, in the past, we've sent, and I'm talking, 8 years ago or more. I don't know if the board has traveled within the last 8 to 10 years, but in the past, we've sent 1 or 2 people to a conference, or 3 or 4 at the most. And those people get to interact with, 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 people while they're out there. And out of the hundreds of people who are at this conference, maybe, 1% of them might rub shoulders with someone from PBS Guam. Another thing that struck me is that this board is very intelligent and very well spoken. So to send a group of people out from the station who are intelligent and who are able to fly our flag, so to speak. And then what happens is you get this, instead of 2 people rubbing shoulders with 5 or 6, you have 6 or 8 people. We're thinking about sending 10 people total. Rubbing shoulders with, 5 or 6 or 7 other people from all over the United States. These are PBS stations from all over the nation. So what might happen is all of a sudden a lot of people are going to be talking about PBS Guam. Where did these guys come from? And look what they're doing. So that's my hope, is that we can, at this time, the station is in a unique position. Number one, it's knocked it out of the park for the last year. We have a lot to say. We did this, we did this, we did this. Jace, you're new here, but I'm hoping that we'll be able to help you come up to speed quickly on just what the difference has been with INA compared to 3, 4, 5 years ago. It's just like night and day. So we have this opportunity to go as a group, as this board. We are cohesive. Everybody likes each other. We all respect each other. Everybody's standing behind management. There are no agendas. I'm thinking it would be a really smart move because people in Washington pay attention to little stations like this when they pop up. We've had some very good feedback from CPB and the PBS national folks from time to time about things that we've done. So, as I said, my thinking is, number one, we can do it. Number two, we have all the pieces in place where it makes sense to do it. We don't have anything embarrassing or skeleton in the closet to worry about. The COVID thing, I haven't traveled for 2 years, but I'm willing to gamble on that they're going to do things right. I'll take my own precautions, and I would, of course, urge all our board members to do the same. But I'm fully in support of sending PBS Guam, in force out to this thing and seeing if we can, make some, people interested in what we're doing. So that's what we're looking at. We're going to, at some point, are we going to approve the
We can,
budget today?
yeah, we can. I mean, the airfare might change slightly, because depending on when we book the tickets, but, we can. I'd like to just book the tickets as soon as they announce it, because, usually PBS will only, reserve.
I know.
Oh, sorry. I'd like to book the tickets as soon as possible, so it's good that we're talking now, because PBS usually only reserves one floor of the hotel where the conference is. And last conference, I wasn't able to get in there, so it really is such a hassle to, get an Uber to the hotel, get an Uber back home, it's just way easier to walk downstairs. And, especially us, we're jet lagged and, we travel so far, it's way easier. So I'd like to book as soon as they announce, so that we're in the hotel. And not only that, they have conference rates, so it's usually cheaper. So it'll be more economical for us. But yeah, I'm totally in agreement, and I think that, we are in a unique position right now. We can afford to send the team to go, but not only that, I think it's important to go to this one because it's the first live in-person conference since COVID, and we're really gonna get to see what the other stations have been doing to counter and, survive during COVID. And, I think programming has really changed and pivoted to more educational as opposed to entertainment. And we're going to be able to see that firsthand from all the other stations because they'll be recording it. And it's just a good time now.
I have 2 questions. Are you talking about going to both of these? Because they're kind of consecutive.
No, the second one is an administrative one where.
Oh, so that would just be you and.
Yeah, it's just so that we can get certified.
So you're just
for-
talking about the first one?
Yes, the
Okay.
second one is more of an accounting thing. It's just so we can be certified so that we can receive the grant and we have all the certifications. But the first one, the annual meeting is the one.
Okay, well, what about, I know my family, even my son, you know, who just lost his wife, wants to take the kids on a vacation. Everyone's afraid to like make a reservation and put down payments and then not get refunded. You know, God forbid something happens. But how does that work now? You know, if
You
you make a
can buy travel
reservation
insurance.
in March and
You
you
can
know,
buy travel insurance, it's like $100 more, and then your ticket is, you know,
because they
insured in
like they
case.
just recently canceled. I forget what, I don't know, something to do with COVID. They canceled like thousands of flights and
Yeah,
yeah. I mean,
we would probably just need to buy the insurance where
Yeah.
it's, if there is
Yeah,
a
okay.
legitimate reason, and then we can reschedule or refund or something.
okay.
It's an additional fee, but I mean, if you guys are,
No, it's
I
worth
think
it.
it's, yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. It's like, it's usually like, I don't know, 100 something more dollars, whatever. You
Per ticket?
Yeah, you see it at the end when you're checking out. Let's say,
Right.
would you like insurance? You can just add that too.
Sure, as long as it's not some exorbitant fee. Okay, so the budget is in front of you. The total estimated travel cost is $61,000. There may be changes, so we're going to have to allow that if there are changes, you know, that's not going to change our decision to go. So I'm going to ask that we approve a conditional budget of, say, $64,000.
I'm sorry, 64?
Up to 64,000.
Up to 61, from 61, so up to...
What, you're making allowances for the plane fare changing or?
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Insurance and stuff like that.
Insurance, right.
And this is also a note for the 22 annual conference in Atlanta, Georgia from May 18th to the 22nd. And the 2022 PBMA conference in Washington, D.C. from May 31st to June 4th.
Yeah, actually, this looks, the cost for the plane sounds cheaper from what I've heard from people who were telling me it was over 2,000 coaches to the East Coast. So,
It's because it's in May, so
so is it getting cheaper?
I think so.
We'll
That's-
see.
Yeah.
The way things are going, not much is getting cheaper. Okay, so the question is, if everyone is in agreement, we need a motion to approve the estimated travel expense for the 2022 annual conference and the 2022 PMBA conference, 2 items, for a total of $64,000.
I'll make that motion for these 2 conferences, and the dates are noted here.
Judy,
Oh, sorry.
I really can't hear.
Yeah, I'll make that motion. The dates are listed as listed, and up to the amount of $64,000 to account for any additions.
I second.
Okay, motion is was made and seconded, and just to clarify, we're referring to the travel expenses to cover the 2022 annual conference and the 2022 PMBA conference, scheduled for May 18 to May 22 and May 31 to June 4, to not exceed a budget of $64,000. Motion has been made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, so for procurement, the first item is requisition number FY 2022 RQ17. This is for equipment needed to manage the governor's channel here at PBS. Basically, it's a computer, some cables, and it's just a high-performance computer and a couple accessories. So the lowest proposal that we received was through B&H for $35.59 and 49 cents. So I would need seeking board approval, a motion.
We're looking at RQ17.
Yes. It says, it's the one that's all typed out.
Well, his, I don't know, the same thing. His is printed, mine's written, so.
I think there's one.
Oh, so the numbers are right here.
I have the somewhere.
Oh,
So just look for the number 17.
RQ17.
okay.
Probably
Okay, I would like to move that we go with B&H Photo.
I'm overwhelmed with paper.
$3,550, sorry,
59.
559.49.
I second.
Thank you. So the next item is.
Just a moment, can we vote
Take
first?
the vote.
I just want to make sure I'm looking at the right page. What was the total amount, I'm sorry?
59.49.
Okay, right. So motion, second, who was the second?
I
I
think
second.
you did it,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Carried. Okay,
Item number 2 is requisition number FY 2022-RQ24. And this is for the copier procurement. In a previous meeting, we mentioned our copier is dying out. And so this is to replace the Xerox copier. We got 3 quotes, Guam Copier, Xerox, and IVSS. So this quote you'll see is for the outright purchase of the copier,
right.
plus 5 years of service, copies, and black and white and color copies, because their terms are in 5 years. So you'll see that the lowest bid was actually Guam Copier for $19,931. Also note, we don't need to expend the full 19. We're just going to buy the copier now, but we needed to cost it out to see which one was the lowest. Because, they have copier color rates and service rates. So we'll just be buying the copier, and then the monthly fees will all add up to the final number after 5 years. So it's $19.31 is the lowest bid from Guam Copier.
Are they as an established company as
I've
Xerox?
never heard of it.
Guam Copier is the same as Megabyte. It's the same company. They just renamed their copier division Guam Copier, but it's Megabyte Guam.
So Megabyte has their main store on
Right.
Rainforest Drive
Yeah.
in Tamuni, right?
Right.
Yes.
They're attached to Megabyte?
They're the same company, but they just they separated the copier side, and they
Yeah,
have.
I know those
Yeah.
people, yeah.
So when we asked for the quotes, we gave them the specs of the copier that we have now, and we told them we would like equal to or greater value of copier, right? So it wouldn't be a downgrade. It would be an upgrade to what we have now.
Okay.
I had no idea they cost that much.
Yeah, they're more expensive if you rent them. So we're buying it.
We have one, but I don't know, we've had it for years, but I can't believe my husband spent that much money on it. But I mean, I mean, they have to include service, because all these things break. I mean, it's ridiculous.
So this does include 5 years of monthly maintenance.
Monthly maintenance, black copiers, like they give us a certain quota of free copies, color copies, and maintenance, yes.
When you say free copies, so we get charged if it goes over?
Additional, yes. Yeah. It's part of their tax. Yeah.
I'm sorry, additional charge for what?
If it goes
For
over the
prints.
number of copies.
So for line item number 3, that's the monthly maintenance service fee.
Ms. Dean, I can't hear you.
I'm sorry. It's, so line item number 3 is the
Yeah.
monthly maintenance service fee at 60 months, which is the 5 years. And then line item number 4, the black and white cost per print at 5,000 prints per month, totaled to 300,000 for the 5 years. Line item number 5 was the color print cost at 3,000 prints per month, which equaled 180,000 for the 5 years. And then of course you see the unit price and our overall total cost. So Guam Copier, or Megabyte Guam, as the umbrella corporation is known as, 19,931. The reason why you're seeing a monthly maintenance service fee, if we do not get this service, we then have to outright buy the copier, the toners, and the other supplies at cost, which is like, each toner is like $200 some, if not 150 or even 100 per toner. Yellow, magenta, cyan, black. So that's way more expensive than doing the monthly maintenance fee. And that's why you see that here.
Oh, okay.
Without it, we might as well lease the machine, which is more costly.
Okay,
Right.
wow.
So your baseline for your copies that you make normally during the month at that as an average,
Yes.
5,000?
Yeah.
Yes, for black and
No,
whites.
not more than 5,000.
Not
Right.
more.
Number,
Okay.
it's been always been under.
Okay.
So
But
we
the
gave
cap
them,
that they're setting is at 5,000?
yeah,
Okay.
and then we pay additional, like, 8
If we
cents
go
or whatever.
over, yes.
So we took all the stats from what we've been doing over the last few years to get
Great.
like a baseline of what we wanted.
So are you as confident in the low bidder as, say, the second bidder? Just, you know.
Yeah, to be honest, I'm happier that we're gonna use them because the Xerox, we haven't been happy with the Xerox service for a while.
Alright.
Yeah, the copier just doesn't really work well. It's been the same problem since I started. They keep coming to fix it. They never fix the issues that we had. You know, it's just not a good big format printer,
Okay,
like anything over tabloid.
all right.
Okay.
Okay, so we have the quote in front of you, RQ24, low bid was $19,931 from Guam Copier, requesting or seeking a motion to approve RQ24 at $19,931.
I make a motion to approve Guam Copier for the purchase of a copy machine, including maintenance, for $19,931.
I second that.
Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
Okay, so the third item is for requisition number FY 2022-RQ25, and it's for promotional items for our project, the block grant campaign. So maybe if we could, the quicker way is just to review the, Christine will just itemize all the items, and then we'll just go with we'll talk about the lowest submission.
It has the big attachment at the back.
Oh,
This big long
Print out.
paper.
Christine, when you talk, if you
Yeah,
click
take
it
it
out, I'm
back.
sorry, I have trouble hearing
Yeah,
you.
so you have the attachment at the back.
Good Lord,
There you go.
See where we need
a
copy?
whole bunch,
What?
big, thick,
Here, I have an extra.
Promotion?
there it is.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. On the bottom.
Here, you got it? Oh, yeah.
So the three companies for requisition number FY22 RQ25, on the form in front of you, you'll see is Promotion Specialties, Local Promos, which were two companies that are local, and for Imprint is stateside. So when we're going down the list, as to the attachment in the back, the first item you're going to see, we have the pictures attached, was the portion plates in red at 2,500 pieces. Local Promos came in at the cheapest cost. If you look across that, you'll see everything that we had to include in order to make that purchase, or to prepare for that purchase, I should say. And that's 2,500 print plates. The second item is also a plate, but it's in the color green. And again, Local Promos came in at the lowest cost. Item number 3, we have 5 different lunch bags, as you can see in the photos. One is a frog, one is a duck, a dolphin, a bee, and a piglet. So all of these 5 bags, I should say, are listed here as to the type of bag it is that you see in the photo. And if you look at all 5 local promos, again, came in at the lowest cost for this. I'm sorry, the typing is
I don't
really
understand
small.
what the plates, I understand these bags, this is what, for giveaways, you mean, like,
This is for the
what are the
Department of,
plates for?
this is for the Department of Public Health's block grant.
Oh,
So
oh.
they deal with the daycares, and
Oh.
so this is really for the daycares.
Oh.
So that's why they're all like baby stuff.
Yeah, okay. We don't have any more, bags, cloth bags, shopping bags?
I think we have some.
No, I mean, we're not ordering anymore.
Oh, for our own promo stuff?
Yeah,
Yes.
I mean, it's like you really and truly have to have, you see people with Payless carrying like 3 bottles of ketchup in their arms and oranges and falling all over the place. So everybody has to have it. And so, and I think that's a really good advertisement. But this is something different.
This is something different, and if I'm,
These are items they requested
if
for.
I'm wrong, correct me, but this money, the money's coming from somewhere else, we're
Yeah.
just handling it
Yeah,
as
okay.
an
I
agent.
got it, yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay?
Okay, so the next item is the sports bottle, after we've seen all the lunch bags. On this item, 4 imprint, if you look at the numbers, came in at the lowest bid for the sports bottle. We then have the notebook mate. Here again, promotion specialties came in at the cheapest cost overall. That's like a pencil bag, the notebook mate that you
Yeah.
can put in a binder. After that, we have the pens. Local promos came in at the lowest cost here for 1,000 pens. We then have the table throw, the 6-feet table cover.
Can I just
Sure.
ask one question about pens? And that is, there's nothing worse than a pen that doesn't work. So, just saying, you give something that's defective, and it just is, you know, it doesn't generate the goodwill that you're hoping for. So it's a very small thing, but
I agree.
And did you say 1,000 or 10,000?
It's 10,000,
Okay.
10,000 pieces.
How much of those are going to get lost?
This is actually even a promo item that's for public
And even
health.
if we give it to people, how much
They're-
of them are actually going to end up losing it is a question that I have.
It's
It's just something to think
all-
about when we're giving these items
Yeah,
away.
We're not giving these items away.
Oh, or PPHS,
Yes.
that's right, public health.
Right.
Are they going to remember
yeah,
that?
what's
then?
how does public health, I mean, I understand the lunch boxes and all that stuff, but like pens and tablecloths? I mean,
Well, the tablecloths are gonna be, and the canopies that are in the next item, those are gonna actually go to the daycares with, it's branded, to the
Oh, okay.
product, you know. So, you know, they're promoting the block grant at the daycares. So I think there was like 30 daycares, and that's why you'll see the quantities, like 30 pieces or 60 pieces, because they have 2 tablecloths. So, and then the banners also, that's also gonna be, these banners are actually gonna be in the clinic. But the pens are for their clinical work, for the clinic,
oh, okay.
yeah.
And I believe they're also going to share that not just with the provider, but the client, which is why there's 10,000 pieces. It'll be for both the provider, the daycares, as well as the clients coming in.
So public
And the
health
clients are the
gives
parents.
these things to private daycares?
Yes.
Yes. It's 30 daycare, but they're obviously
Yeah.
private, yeah.
yes, that's correct.
Yeah, so the block grant it's a program that directly works with the daycares to offer
So it's like
subsidies for
subsidizing
daycare,
their
yeah,
needs.
daycare
Yeah, so they
services.
don't have to- okay.
Okay, so after the pens, we have the table throw, like we were saying, the 6 feet, promotion specialties, 6-foot table covers. Promotion specialties came in at the lowest cost there. We then have the economy retractor banner. So this is the one where you push it up, it can stand up, and then it'll just roll itself down as well. It's travel friendly. We have our 10-foot,
Are these going to be branded?
Yes, this will all be branded with the public
With
health.
public health.
Oh, public health logo,
Block
okay.
Yes.
grant logo.
Do we get to put our logo on there too?
No. But we'll be ordering stuff for us.
The event tents, I'm sorry, the 10-foot event tents, the local promos came in at the lowest cost there. We then have our kids' shirts. You're going to see 4 imprint is highlighted here. So there's like 1,000 extra small sizes, 1,500 smalls, 1,500 mediums, and 1,000 large shirts that will be ordered through 4 imprint.
We have, our computer shirts.
Okay.
So they all say Super Kid? So
No,
they don't have
it's all-
any,
it's all
they don't say public health or the
It's
name of the
gonna
daycare
say
center?
public health.
Pardon me?
Yes, it will say
They
public
all
health.
have public health logo,
Oh, okay.
the block grant logo. So if you look at the second page of this summary, you'll see we actually put the awards, the lowest bids, and we consolidated it all.
So for imprint, out of all the items above 30,686, at the lowest cost is going to them. Crestline unfortunately did not come in for any of the items. Promotion Specialties, a local company here, 7,609.90 at the lowest cost, came in under them. And for local promos, another local company here, 69,200 is being.
I noticed it says, some don't include shipping and handling.
The local companies is included, the off-island companies is not included.
Yeah.
We tried to get that information. I actually did provide shipping. I was able to get a figure. I should have made that change, that's my mistake. But it does include the shipping. and
Everything is
handling.
included.
Everything is included.
Oh, okay, the
Yes.
shipping
It does.
is very
Yes.
expensive.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I did not make that change there.
So there wouldn't be any additional shipping fees for any of them.
So it includes shipping?
Yes, including
Yes,
shipping.
for all of them.
Okay.
And then, of course, this total is the 107,496.10 for this expense.
The list of items was developed in concert with everybody concerned.
Yes.
We've met with them, and these are the items that they said that they would like, they need to procure.
So we're just a conduit for this money.
We're working, well, no, I would say that we are providing a media service, right?
It's our meeting.
So, yes, so we're providing them with not only broadcasting, production services, but also media services. Yes.
So we're like a
Agency.
advertising agency.
Almost, yes.
I mean, you could equate it to, we're an advertising agency, or we're a company with
Public
an
health.
advertising agency in one section, and we are able to accept this type of business because we have all the resources.
Yeah, I
We're-
understand
we're
that, but this
providing
money,
creative
$100,000, whatever,
Yeah.
that's a part of the grant that public health got.
Yes.
And
Well,
they're
it's a-
delegating us to use it.
Well, there's an MOU. There's an MOU between, an interagency MOU between us and public health, and we are providing them with these creative services, you know.
For which we are being compensated.
Okay.
Okay.
Confusing, but
A little bit, but, so,
But
see,
there's still a lot of accounting work and, you know, going through with regard to the request for quotations and
oh,
whatnot.
yes,
There's
there's,
a lot of administrative work being involved.
there really is, because we are procuring here, so we are making sure that we have an RFQ sent to all these people here, waiting for them. They don't have them, we seek off island, but of course, you know, we want to buy local as much as possible. So we're following procurement law here, so we're acting as, you know, I mean, you know, there's just that portion. In addition, we've had creative meetings with public health, several creative meetings with public health on what their campaign would like to be, what that all entails. And, you know, we're doing things like script writing, we're producing storyboards for their, you know, TV, the videos that they want to produce. And then there's also commercials for TV, radio, social media, and then there's the graphic work that we're doing for branding of products. So, I mean, we're doing a lot.
This is
sounds
just-
like we're an advertising agency.
Yeah, so this is just a small part of
Yeah.
this entire package.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you for that very detailed list of materials, and the process in itself is pretty straight ahead. So as far as the award going out or the approval going out for this, is this the total for 107,496.10? For the
Yes.
items that are included in all of these?
Yes.
Okay. which will cover RQ 25, is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. So I'd like to make a motion to approve the quotations on FY 2022 RQ 25 for the specific items that have been detailed in that quotation for the total amount of 107,496.10.
I second the motion.
Okay, everybody, any questions? Everybody clear? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
Okay, so our next item is requisition FY 2022-RQ26. And that is for promotional items for PBS, PBS Kids, and PBS, right? As a result of our MOU with Public Health, we've been able to acquire an additional 1,000 PBS Kids members. So when we have any kind of PBS Kids Club acquisition, we give the kids like a welcome bag, right? PBS welcome bag with maybe a coloring book or something, for the PBS Kids Club. So we have 1,000 new members, so we need to get some promo items for these kids. So we are now procuring for some items. We don't have any promos anyway, so we're just kind of we're putting it in order now. So in this requisition, you'll see we're procuring for some PBS pens, some PBS lunch totes that we plan to use for PBS kids, a travel waste pack, and a tumbler. Do you have pictures of it?
It's on,
So it's kind of like a fanny pack that well, anyway, 3,000 units for the pens. The lowest quotes, we had gotten quotes from Promotional Specialties, 4imprint.com, and local promos again. And the lowest bid went to 4imprint for the 3,000 pens at 31 cents, total of $13.23. For the lunch tote, item number 2, it's 2,500 lunch totes. The lowest bid was for 4imprint for $2.45, totaling $66.98. Item number 3 is a travel waste pack, which is kind of like a fanny pack, 2,500 pieces. The lowest quote came in with Promotional Specialties at $1.82, so a total of $45.50. And the final item, item number 4, is for a 24-ounce tumbler. And that was what we want to give away during like pledge drive and stuff like that for like a minimal donation. 1,000 pieces. The lowest quote came in with local promos at $3.55 for $35.50. Oh, wait a minute. We're doing this as one whole, right? We're doing this as one whole.
We can.
Or do you want to separate it?
Yeah,
We did it as one whole.
one whole.
Yeah, we did it as one whole bid, like an all or nothing. So you'll see that the lowest bid went to local promos at $17.22. $17,022, $220.
And that includes shipping.
Okay.
So no additional fees, right?
Right.
Okay. So the tumbler we're going to be using for pledge drive, which we're going to do April. We're trying to do it in Mes tomorrow, but we're trying to kind of also coincide with the Guam payday, so it's going to be April 1st. So we're going to do. Well, anyway, if you want to
Can I
approve this
just
first, I can talk
ask
about it.
regarding the tumbler? I'm seeing it for imprint with 1,000 pieces at 2.09 versus the 3.55 for local promo. Was that a decision you made just in the totaling?
I think what we did is for this one, because we did an all or nothing.
Right.
So that means we were just going to choose one vendor with the lowest amount as opposed to going to 5 different vendors. And we did that in this case because of shipping.
Okay.
Because if we were to do shipping for 3 items here and 1 item from this vendor and an item from this vendor, the shipping would have been way more. And that's why we chose to do the all or nothing. Whereas in this one, we did with the lowest bid just because there's so much of so many items. Shipping wouldn't really matter because, when you're buying 2,500 or 5,000 lunch bags, anyway, we did that for shipping purposes.
Yeah, I mean, it does sound like $3.99 for a plastic, $3.66 for a plastic cup sounds like a lot.
Well, it's a big tumbler, and the ones with the straws, and they're really popular right now. So that's why we wanted to give that particular item for the pledge drive, because it's a real popular item right now.
Okay.
So, okay, and then, so for pledge drive, the next item is also for pledge drive, and maybe I'll talk about it when we get to this one.
So we need to approve RQ 26 before you move on to 27, yes?
Yes.
Okay. So we're seeking a motion to approve RQ 26.
I, Joy Fuentes, move to approve quotation FY 2022 RQ 26 for the amount going to local promos in the amount of $17,220.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Okay. So the second item, the next item is requisition FY, the last item, requisition FY 2020-RQ27, and these are for bomber jackets. So we're looking at 180 jackets, and this is going to be our PBS premium item. So for pledge drive, what we wanted to do is 2 levels of donations to kind of like to push for a higher ticket donation. So we're going to give the 24-ounce tumbler cup. It's really popular with like millennials and working out people. Anyway, that we're going to give with like a $25 donation. And then if you make a $100 donation, we're going to give this bomber jacket that looks really, really cool. It's a nice jacket with an embroidered PBS logo, and that's with a $100 donation. So that's what we're seeking to procure, 180 pieces in various sizes. The lowest vendor, we weren't able the lowest vendor is a vendor called Kitty Petunias, and the total was $64.78.20, and that's for the jacket and embroidery.
Well, one of them's $10 and the other's $25.99. What's it?
So, so what we did was we just did cost per unit. So you'll notice, well, you won't notice because you don't have it, but in the invoices, it just depends on how they broke it down. Like some just said bomber, like jacket size, whatever. Each jacket cost this amount. Some vendors had to have embroidery as a second item, because that was additional. Some people had shipping. So what we just took was the total amount divided by the number of jackets, and that was per each cost, individual cost. So you'll see that, there's embroidery here, but it's already included here. So it really just didn't matter. What we just took was the total.
These are not 2 different kinds of jackets. This is
No, they're all the same jacket. It's like it's a bomber jacket. So it's a total of, we just took the total divided by the per unit to figure out what the cost was. So anyway, total cost, the lowest was $64.78.20, second was $78.17.50, and then the highest one was $10,389.80. So I bought 180 I want to buy 180 of these units. I want to give the staff one for uniform, of course the board, and that should leave us with 150 units for pledge. Hopefully at $100 donation each. Yeah.
Are they, bomber jacket, I'm looking with the fur collar and the,
I have a picture. Oh.
leather,
Yeah.
World War II bomber jacket. I don't know.
My phone just died.
If I travel to Hokkaido, I would.
That's that one.
Yeah, that's a good picture of it. We
No,
could just
I
send
Have a
it.
picture?
Mhm.
Does this include just one size?
No, all the way up to size 2XL.
Small,
Yeah,
medium,
because
large.
3XL was like it's quite a bit more, so we just went from size small to 2XL. Yeah.
Is that a photo or?
Yeah, that's a picture of the jacket. My phone just died, so I can't send a picture.
But
So
you
it's
actually
just-
saw it?
Yeah, we saw pictures of it.
So they're nylon,
The first one, yeah.
nylon satin.
It's not those jackets that were really popular in the 80s. I forget what they were called.
It's like a windbreaker.
Yeah. So it's like nylon or something?
Looks that way. Satin.
It's a really, I think it's a nice jacket. It's not a windbreaker, it's a little bit heavier.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, but it's nice. I like it. I think it's cool. Haven't seen
And
it.
it's black?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
So I would just like to
Thank you.
give my experience to the board with regard to a promotional item that I received from PBS Hawaii, maybe 10 or more years ago, that I still have and I still use. It's a shoulder bag. It's a collapsible, carry-on bag. And it had the PBS Hawaii logo, and I was happy to receive it, and I'm happy to still have it. And that's the type of marketing tool that stays around and gives you a long-term support in the community. So I spoke with Ina about this idea, I don't know, a few months back, and I'm very happy to see that you're moving forward with it. So yeah, seeking a motion to approve.
Okay, I'll make a motion for FY 2022 RQ 27 for the lowest bidder, Cutie Petunias, for $6,478.20.
I second.
This is for the embroidered bomber jackets to be used as promotional items for the station. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you very much.
I think that's it for me.
Thank you very much. Okay, how are we
You
doing?
wanted to add this executive session item?
Yeah, I just have one item to mention when we go, and then I'll just leave you guys alone.
All right.
Okay, in the interest of time, I'm going to ask that we forego review of the financial statements. I prefer that, that Lorraine be here in case we had any questions regarding that. So it is here for your review if you wanted to take it home and look at it. But in the interest of time, if there are no objections, I'd like to move forward to number 1 or number E under old business. Is it okay with everybody?
Yeah, because it's late and I have an appointment.
Thank you very much, Rosemary. Okay, the old business, the board initiative, just wanted to give some background, Jace. The board at some point last year agreed that it would be a good idea, when you watch PBS, between the programs there are blocks of time, 30 seconds here, 90 seconds there, which is typically used for, We Are PBS, Guam, Station ID kind of thing. The board decided that we wanted to take those blocks of time and make them more useful to the community. So what we wanted to do was start putting messages, community-oriented messages in those blocks of time, so that our audience gets them regularly. So the first thing that we wanted to do was a board initiative was addressing distracted driving. So we want to have little 10-second, 15-second, 20-second commercials saying, distracted driving, texting while you're driving, whatever, however we're going to craft that message, and then put it out there. So that's one of the things the board has decided to do, and this is the first idea that we decided to put out there. There are others, littering, for instance. What's going to happen is Ina's going to have the staff put the ideas that they've already come up with on the chat. Yes, Ina?
Yes.
Okay, and then we'll be able to review them by the next meeting, come in and discuss them. So go ahead and review them when you have a moment. I don't think they're up yet, but certainly by next week, Monday, they will be. We've already talked about the annual meeting. We've already talked about everything under new business too. Yes, Ina? Okay, great, then. Move through that. Okay, so if nothing further, we got everything done, right, besides that, besides the executive session?
Yes.
Okay, at this time, we'd like to take a pause, turn off the recording devices, and we will go into executive session, and then we will announce when we come back. come out of the executive session.
Ready? Okay, we're good. Oh,
Okay, you guys ready? Rolling? Everybody? Okay, so we are back out of executive session. This is resuming the regular board meeting of February 17, 2022. The time is 1:50?
What?
1:51. So, in the executive session, the board discussed the item 1 on the executive session, and we've come to consensus on that. So I would just like to have someone on the board make the appropriate motion.
Okay, I would like to make a motion to approve the general manager's compensation, package A.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And opposed? Okay. With regard to the item 2 on the executive session, I would just like to maybe wait at least one meeting and get a detailed job description of what you entail. I mean, what you expect Don to be doing, or whoever this person is going to be.
okay.
Shall I make a motion?
No, don't need one. We're just waiting on that one.
Oh, okay, okay.
So next board meeting is,
March.
Are we on a 4-week, the 4th week normal meeting time frame, or because this one came in a little bit earlier by a week, I just happened to know
Oh.
that this.
It's not the last Thursday,
Yeah.
yeah, you're right, Jeff, you're right.
So I was just wondering if we're changing to the 4th or going to continue on with the 4th Thursday of the month, this being the 3rd. So either way, it's okay with me. I just wanted to just make sure
Yeah,
that
no,
that's the
yeah,
case.
you're right, Joey.
I think we may move this one early because Mariflor said she was going off island or something.
Yes,
Because
she
of what?
did.
I
She
think
was going on
Mariflor
with-
was like gonna be off island again or something, so
Well,
that's why.
she was attending a funeral.
Oh, something like that.
well, that was for today.
No, we
Yeah,
didn't know,
that's
but
why
we didn't
we
know
made-
about the funeral, the boy hadn't even died. you know.
No, but that's
But she
why we
did,
made
yeah.
this month's meeting a little bit early, because I think she had some kind of
She was
conflict.
going to be going, yeah.
But yeah, that's easy.
So the question is, do we want to do it on the fourth
Thursday.
Thursday or the third Thursday?
Yeah, I think sometimes we did it on the 3rd, just in case we have to postpone it. I mean, that's why I think we did it sometimes, you know.
Yes,
In case we have to postpone it, we have another Thursday.
okay.
Our
I
next
don't
meeting
care.
would be on the 24th.
You want to do the 24th?
Well, he's just saying normally,
Oh, yeah.
what she's saying was give us, that way we'd have an extra week in case
Something happens.
the third Thursday fell through, we'd still have the fourth Thursday.
I see. I'm okay with the way,
Me too.
Okay, so third Thursday then.
third Thursday. Okay.
March is,
Oh, the 24th?
It'll be the 20,
The
March
17th is
17th.
St. Patrick's Day.
so 17th?
Yes.
You want to do the 17th?
Yep.
So we can all agree.
Okay.
Third.
If you're a New Yorker, even though I'm not
March 17th.
only Irish, everybody's Irish.
March 17th at noon.
Okay.
And if for any reason we are unable to meet, then it will be on March 24th. So noted. Any announcements? I'd like to welcome Jace
Yeah,
Thank you, guys.
to the
we're so happy
board.
to have you.
I went to the lieutenant governor and he said, what can I do? And I said, well, we need younger board members.
Yeah, actually, I knew Josh because I used to work at Auto Squad as a car salesman when
Oh,
I was 18, 19 years old. And he was I forgot what he was at the time. He was one of the executives over there.
oh, Lieutenant Governor?
Yeah, he was high up there.
Vice
And
President.
I would sit down with him every so often to kind of just give him like an update about how it's going. And then after a year or so, I left because it was too tough. I didn't like selling cars because I always felt guilty after. Like I was selling them something that they're gonna go into debt for, they don't really need, and I just didn't feel good about it. So I left
That's the
that.
first time I've ever heard anything like
That's
that.
great. That's
So I left that, and then I started making videos, and then he saw me vlogging, and he was like, "Hey, could you help out with my campaign?" And from there, I started working with the bank, and the rest is history. But I'm very excited to be a part of this board. Thank you guys for having me. I'm excited to do anything I can to bring value to the table and help grow the organization to new levels.
Very good. Very happy to have you.
Thank you.
Okay, seeking a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much. Very good.